Dun, dun, dun. I'm live. Welcome back, you motocross enthusiasts, you all around just, brobbers, guys that just hold it. WFO, I told you I'd be back every Thursday for a unfiltered mash up of the news. Keeping it unfiltered. This thing's got 69 cups of caffeine in it. I'm loaded. It's good. It's good. So if you're all here, we're ready for the digression of what's going on in the world of motorsports. And because it's like the economy, everybody is ready for just bad stuff from happening. Hey, what's up, Travis? Hey, Drew. Nice to have you guys have wherever you are at. If it's 11 a.m., if it's noon, if it's 4 p.m., whatever. It's digression, right? I'm glad to see you guys. I'm going to talk about some of the news. So the first thing that is hitting the press is World Supercross teams. This is the thing that I'm incredibly pumped for is Supercross. And I know, this is supposed to be more of privateer guys, but truthfully, as a fan, right, we don't want to see a bunch of Johnny Hoppers race the World Supercross. Could you imagine that? Hit a pack of 10-foot tall whoops and okay, I'll blitz the last 3 of them, but I'm going to roll maybe double the... No, we don't want to see that shit. We want to see these guys WFO. So we want to see guys like Roxon and Tomac as wild cards, but 2 more teams got announced, all right? It's this Honda Genuine and then Club MX. It's interesting that 60% of the teams so far are American, right? We've got 2 British teams. We've got 2 French teams with Bud Kawasaki, Team GSM, and 6 Americans with PWR, is that an MPX, Supercross Motorsports? Moto Concepts, I'm assuming is going to be Brayton, probably Freezy, and Seeley. Seeley's a superstar. Brayton's a superstar. I freaking love Freezy because he goes against the grain. Everybody gives him shit for blocking people or whatever. He gets the job done, right? However you get the check to clear is how you have to do it. A lot of people say that you need to be people like Dungy. Personally, it's those guys you got to watch out for. The real quiet people, guys that are just incredibly clean cut, they're the guys that got to watch out for. So this Honda Genuine, this is Firehouse or Firepower Honda located here in the States. They are at the Millsaps training facility, and I'm assuming maybe Kenny is going to be on that team. Maybe, because it'd be smart for Ken Roxon to do these 4 races and be world supercross champion. Hasn't been American supercross champion, or if you want to call the FIM World Supercross Championship when there was 1 race in Canada, it's eluded him, which is a bummer, incredibly bummer. But it'd be smart for him to race all 4 rounds. I know we've got Tomac. Tomac is racing at least the first one as one of the wild cards. Martin Davalos is going to be the team manager. It's cool to see a bunch of these teams, like Dustin Pipes. He's going to do part of the Suzuki team, privateer, but has some good backing. And the other team is Muck-Off Club MX. These guys have a huge facility, and they're ready to go racing. I believe they've got both the Alex Martin guys under them, Nicoletti, Marchbanks, Owen, Enzo Lopes. They're probably going to take Enzo Lopes, Nicoletti, and Jeremy Martin. If you had to pick between the brothers, it'd probably be Jeremy over Alex. Alex needs to get the F off of a 450. His Hobbit legs. He needs the 250. That's a short joke, but we're seeing a transition between taller riders. You're looking at AC, right? Incredibly tall guy. You're looking at Sexton, tall guy. Tall, strong guys seem like they can ride those 450s better. I'm just looking at some of the comments here. What's up, guys? Yes, Moto Taco, I do like to digress is just as much as I like to F and throw the brops, okay? It's how we keep it MX Unfiltered, right? So, love to see Kenny on a firepower Honda for all 4 rounds. We'll see if that happens. They say that they're not going to release the teams until later in the coming weeks, right? It's kind of a bummer that this is kind of becoming a last-minute deal. I know we're in July, but the first race is in October. So a lot of the stuff is set in stone. But hopefully moving forward, some of this stuff will become sooner, right? Yeah, Eli Tomac, dude, the dude's just freaking on fire. I don't know what they're feeding that guy, but goddamn. Watching him. Oh, okay, speaking of that, I guess I'll jump ahead just a little bit. As far as the points go, right? We'll just look at the points for American motocross, okay? We talked... Oh, Drew, why there's only 4 rounds is because they're starting... This is a question from Drew Jones. Is World Supercross, it's like a practice season for them. They're going to have a full season that's probably going to go through October to May, which is going to screw a lot of the Supercross guys, and I'm sure Feld is going to be upset about that because they're going to take guys probably like Cooper Webb, maybe Tomac, maybe Roxon, where they're like, hey, where can I flip the bill? It's sort of the PGA Tour. There's the Saudi deal, where a lot of the major guys are going, hey, where can I make the most money? If it's going to be this other series, I'm going to go for the other series, right? And so far, this World Supercross, they're innovating. They're changing it up. They are paying double as far as purse money goes. But again, as a factory rider, the purse money is so minute when the factories are really the ones that are paying you a big purse. But that'll be seen. But right now, since this is the inaugural World Supercross, it's only 4 rounds. So literally, Tomac and them could race all 4 and just have them as prepper rounds, almost like some of the German Supercrosses that they do over there, and then go race AMA Supercross for the whole season. So this is going to be interesting, right? I don't think these riders are going to be able to do this all the time because you can't race 365 because, as a local guy or just an enthusiast, you go practice, you go ride, you twist your ankle, you stab your finger, something. You have some sort of a nagging injury. And if you're trying to race 45 weeks out of the 52, it's going to screw you over. But looking at the point standings this is results. Sorry. Rider point standings is what I want. So let me zoom in on this. Eli Tomac, 267. Chase Sexton, 268. 1 point. Look at Tomac's results. First moto sucked, and now he's just been on the podium like ever since, right? I think viewership is going to drop off if Tomac ends up getting a moto lead, 25 points, maybe even 50 points on everybody else, because it's just, for some reason, psychologically, it's not as much fun to watch motocross when you're racing for second place. People want to see racing for first. That's just what they want to see. And granted, there's a lot of guys that aren't currently racing because they're doing supercross only. So I do think that the viewership is going to drop off if Tomac starts getting a decent size points lead. And I guess the next round, just so we're talking about kind of like a heads up of, it's going to be Spring Creek, right? Spring Creek. Okay, do they have the entry list published yet? Of course not. Guys, it's freaking Thursday. No entry list. Races in 2 days. Come on. This is what I'm talking about, okay? World Supercross, let us know the teams ahead of time. Let's not wait till 2 days before to not even have anything up, right? That's dumb. But Spring Creek in Millville. This is Dungy's hometown race. Hometown. You don't think this guy was doing laps, preparing for probably this? Again, if I'm just predicting, I say Dungey gets on the podium, right? Tomac wins it, of course, right? Kenny gets the whole shot and fades at 15 minutes because he's got to stop off and take a break, arm pump, whatever. He's human, right? He's not on stuff. You know, WDO 840, man. Love your highlights, dude. I don't know how you find all those races. I remember watching some of the VH stuff that you show, and it's bomb, you know? And again, we still need to collaborate. I need to. Shame on me for not making a priority, but we need to. What's up, guys? Travis, top 10 guys in Supercross will be World Supercross by 2024. Yeah, I believe Travis. Yeah, I think it's a turning of the tide, unless something like Feld and, you know, Pro MX Sports, they change stuff to keep the riders. It's going to turn into potentially like the Canadian motocross versus MXGP. You know, okay, not talking politics, but I'm talking freaking politics. America, since World War II, has been a superpower. All right? What's happening now because of our President Biden and his administration, and then you've got President Xi over there in China. China, with their gross domestic product, here in a few years are going to double what American can produce. You know, no longer are we going to be the center of what's going on, okay? And it's kind of ironic that it's happening in motocross and supercross too. We will not be looked at as the founders or just the top guys anymore, right? It's a shame. It's a shame. MXGP has kind of been taking the reins on moto for a while, but we had supercross, and now we're losing supercross. All right, so we've got Spring Creek coming up this weekend, World Supercross. This was fun to watch here. I'm going to put it on mute so that we can see it, but, you know, give it up to Preston for highlighting this. However, look at how many views he has. Oh. And one of the things I'm talking about is they haven't been copyright striking anybody for running the races. Pro Motocross hasn't, because of the sham that has been Mav TV. They need the views, right? And if you watch some of my other videos, you know, they put, hey, full moto here of Moto 1, right, of Redbud. These guys are getting pretty good views on this stuff. Moto 2, right, full motos, okay? These are decent views, but if you were to not do this, like, could potentially do this live, you could sell ad space and also get the YouTube revenue up, and you grow this subscriber base. This is 152,000 subscribers right now, okay? You get this couple million, there you go. That's where you save. Down the road is how you build the brand, right? It's not going to happen instantly, okay? It happens over time. And I've said it before, I know some YouTubers that make $40K, $50K a video on ads. Do you think that's enough to pay for somebody like NBC Sports or some sort of camera crew to go out at the races? Absolutely. Absolutely. Smash that like button. Thank you, Drew. I absolutely keep that like button, WFO. Bro, I need to have like a, you know, maybe we'll do this. If it get any super chats, we'll just go crazy with the brops, right? Just annoy the fuck out of everybody, right? Right? But no, what the heck was I digressing over? The whole Hunter deal. All right, Styles Robertson. This deal, right? Thank God he didn't get hit, though. But Styles Robertson cross-jumped Hunter. I think a lot of the guys racing is, you look at Styles Robertson as a top 20 rider, okay? You look at Hunter Lawrence as a championship runner, top 3 guy, okay? So everybody on the field knows who those guys are, knows who those factory bikes are, and so you have some sort of a psychological, like, you should get the heck out of my way type of a deal. Styles didn't. He had the line. Yeah, you could say that he messed up, and yeah, he publicly apologized, like, that's cool. But in the pits, you know, he was like, can you believe this effing guy? Like, come on, guys. We're racers. We don't really take it out on the track. We don't really take it much out on the pits because, you know, it's huffing and puffing. Like, it's like a reality TV show, right? Where, you know, come on, hit me in the face. Hit me in the face. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Nobody does a damn thing. You know, they say they're going to take you out, but they don't as much. And granted, they probably could. The powers that be with the race directors could make it a higher punishment. Michael, yeah, have I seen the video about the FCC investigation on Mav TV coverage? Yes, yep. Cooksey and Coach and I were talking about this for a while. And truthfully, again, I don't have all the facts. I didn't talk to the individuals that were filing the complaint, but my understanding is there's a few people that are filing complaints saying, hey, this wasn't how it was supposed to be, how it was sold to us, and therefore we're filing a complaint. Do I think the lawsuit's going to go anywhere? No, I don't. I don't. You know, unless we have 60,000 people file complaints, which that's not going to happen, I don't think it's going to really do anything, right? It's something that's just going to be flushed underneath the rug because Mav TV, they provided a service. They had the service. Yeah, the coverage sucked, but it is what it is. So it's not really going to go anywhere. You know, this isn't the Twitter Elon Musk where, hey, we wanted you to buy Twitter, but well, actually, Twitter didn't want Elon to buy Twitter, and then now that he's pulling out, they want to force him to buy Twitter. This isn't going to get national coverage news or be any that kind of a big. We live in such a small bubble. It's going nowhere. You know, it's under the rug. They're going to file it in a cabinet, and if they pay anything out, which I doubt they will, it's not going to matter to anything, right? Which is just unfortunate. Do you feel like $40K a weekend is enough to pay for 75 people to take and produce TV broadcast at the races? You know, I don't know. You know, that number might be quite a bit more, but again, we do know that having a national race cost the promoters about like $100K to do it, right? You know, if you want to race Southwick, if you want to have a national race at Southwick or Thunder Valley, you're looking at $80 to $100K just to pay to MX Sports. Right? Okay. Yeah, their profit margins are going to maybe be a little bit smaller until they build a bigger brand. But that's the deal, is you got to build a big brand in order to eventually be successful. You can't leave stuff to... motocross is not going to survive if they have these shambles of what's going on with the streaming service. And personally, guys, you know, I'm big at bad news, right? You know, people talk a lot of shit about some of the stuff I say, but truthfully, sometimes bad news is actually good news because it gets people talking. How much coverage has motocross gotten in the moto community talking shit about Mav TV? You know, moto memes and everybody have been on fire talking about it, right? It brings attention to it, and that's where I'm talking about is motocross is no longer a sport per se. It's entertainment. I'm not wanting this to turn into WWE. However, if you're going to have a broader audience, you need to bring the entertainment up, okay? Because people want to see drama and blah, blah, blah. So personally, all this bad news, I think, has kind of been good for the sport. But I'm digressing more. Back on what I was talking about with Style Robertsons and Hunter Lawrence. Yes, was it his fault? But truthfully, Hunter could have checked up. You know when somebody's in front of you. You know exactly when somebody's in front of you. You slam on the brakes. All you had to do was slam on the brakes, and they would have been fine, okay? Luckily, he landed in the sand and didn't get hurt. But, as he gets swiped right there, okay. But he comes back. He's like, okay, you know, F you, dude. He could have taken him out, but he didn't take him out, right? And then he continues it like the riders we are, you know, you're just full on testosterone, adrenaline's pumping, you're doing a $180 heartbeat, you know, you're like, I'm just gonna go bitch slap this guy in the face, right? Hey, did you see that? You cut me off, you stupid, you know, come on, right? I'm incredibly proud of Robertson for, you know, smacking him back. Oh, flip him off, right? They flip him off. Okay. But this is all that happened, right? This is all that happened. In high school, these guys would be all over each other because kids don't give a crap, okay? Adults, there's all these repercussions and stuff. So truthfully, whenever you get in an argument and you know you're not going to win it, it's not even worth the breath. Not even worth the breath. I should probably watch Tom's angle. I need to talk to him about it because that dude, his camera's all over the place. Production value, man, does a damn good job. But I guess what I'm saying is this didn't need to happen. Afterwards, yeah, I get you're hot and bothered, but it doesn't need to happen. Doesn't need to happen. So this is what I have to say for the Hunter and Styles Robertson deal. The last thing I guess we're talking about is the Mav TV stuff. Okay, Mav TV, effective immediately. They're going to Flow, right? It's over with. If you want to, you got to sign up for Flow, which the majority of us are going to, or we're going to wait for it to be on YouTube afterwards. Because truthfully, if I'm being honest, I watched the races on YouTube. Mav TV wasn't working. It was just giving me the little circle. So I waited for the races to be on YouTube. And sure enough, there's 5-6 guys that are doing it that nothing is going on, right? So able to do that. But they do say that monthly and yearly subscribers will be refunded a portion of their subscription. Yeah, you're not going to be refunded the whole year, right? Because you had it for a couple months. Truthfully, I hope they're not going to be like, yeah, you paid for a yearly subscription in May, but we're only going to give you back up until now. We're not going to give you any of the fees back from May to January. Hopefully they give them some bonuses back. A refund will be processed in 30 to 45 days. So it's just going to take some time. And if you bought it on Apple or anything, you need to report a problem with Apple. Dude, this is just a bummer that they're not making this easier for it. And then they are saying that there's a special discount for $51 off, which they're acknowledging the $6.99 for Mav TV through November, which will get everybody through the end of the races, right? So that is good, right? That is good. I personally, I think Flow's going to do a much better job than Mav. I think this deal was going on far before motocross was even racing. I think MX Sports, Racer X, these guys knew that they were switching over, and that just was what they were. They were going to be in a PR. Let's fight it. Let's just see what happens, and then we'll acknowledge it later, kind of thing. Still, just bum deal for everybody. Robertson has been and going good. Yeah, dude, I believe. I'm just reading some of your guys' comments here. Rick Ross, Hunter thinks people should yield to him because he's going to be up front. Dude, truthfully, Rick, any top factory guys, they think that, right? That's why guys like Carmichael and Bubba were so dominant for so long, is because they got in people's heads that you get out of my way. You get out of my way. But then you look at what happens when they take a break. Bubba took a break, did a couple years of his Bubba show and Bubba's World, comes back. Dungy, who really hasn't raced the guys, like, why should I be scared of you? And was it A1, A2? Starts racing with them and beats them at the supercross. And then it just shows everybody, oh, wait, Stewart's human. We can beat him. And then Stewart continues to have to ride over his head and puts himself on the ground. He's literally the Ricky Bobby, either your first or your last, right? Incredible, fastest man in the world, but that's how it happened. Why do you think Mav TV sinks money in developing Mav TV Plus just to give it a way to flow? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I wish I had the answer for that as far as why Mav TV would sink money into developing Mav TV Plus and then give it away to Flow Racing. Perhaps I am wrong, and they saw that, hey, it's not good enough, so we need to transition to a platform that has more resources. That's why Peacock was good, because NBC had the resources. They had the resources in order to do it. Like, truthfully, if this stuff was going to be on YouTube, would the production value probably go down? Yeah, people would bitch about the production value, okay? But they could do it however they wanted, and I would like it. You know, the problem with Mav TV, and even when Peacock was doing it, is you're paying a premium subscription for something, and then yet you still have commercials and that sort of stuff. That's the whole microtransactions that we live in a world right now that sucks. You know, it's like that new MX versus ATV game. You know, it's released unfinished. Like, everything is unfinished. But I do understand that us millennials, damn, we just like to bitch about everything, okay? But people aren't working right now. And so, Jason, did Levi Kitchen break his right wrist or left? Just wondering. I don't know. I'd have to ask some people to see what's going on. Is Flow Racing going to cover Supercross too? Nobody's released anything that's going to cover Supercross. I believe Peacock will still cover Supercross because Supercross is where the money's at. It's not in motocross. You know, even for the riders, it is. Okay, because you make a moto in, well, let's just say this. You finish top 20 at a Supercross, you're making $600-700. You finish top 20 at a Supercross 450 class, you're making $2,200, $2,600, right? Supercross is where the money's at because it's not just diehard fans. You know, in a motocross, you have to have diehard fans to go to the races. You know, you don't go pick up your girlfriend that you've been dating for a week and be like, hey, babe, you know, do you want to go travel an hour and a half and be in the hot sun all day and, you know, have guys with beer cans on their head screaming and, you know, people are smoking out front? Like, no, you don't do that. But a stadium where you can sit down, have a nice hot dog, you know, it's downtown, it's in town, you know, stuff's going on. Like, yeah, right? That's Supercross is unfortunately where it's at. That's why motocross needs to innovate a little bit. That's why I think, like, make it a little bit more exciting. The 3 motos, you know, there's so much stuff they could do. A privateer class, get more of the fans involved, right? Yeah, at least we get to see it, right? Because we never did that. That's not being a pessimist, Nick. At least we freaking get to see it. We've got live coverage now. Do you remember watching races? I'm sure WD can say this too, is we used to watch it in 480p. You couldn't see anything, you know? But now we've got HD. We've got good coverage, right? But I do think there needs to be just a little bit more innovation here. I might answer a couple more questions, but that's all I had for the Moto news for this week. You know, the weekly mashup, that we've got new Supercross teams coming with Club MX and basically Firepower Honda. You know, Club MX going to take probably Jeremy Martin, Nicoletti, Enzo Lopes. Firepower is probably going to be Max Anstine, and I'd love to see Kenny on there. I'm super pumped for the World Supercross. That's the most pumped I am for motocross racing right now is World Supercross. 100%. Yeah, thank you, WD. No Unadilla. Was there no Unadilla? Yeah, the contracts. Unadilla is race 9 after Spring Creek, right? Unadilla. I'd like to see Glen Helen come back, but Cooksy's got a good video on Glen Helen as to why. Truthfully, I kind of think Glen Helen is kind of a dangerous track. Every time I've been there, somebody's died. And last time I was there, I saw Mike Alessi take somebody out because the way they were running things was just awful, where you don't have 50-plus riders out there with Mike Alessi, right? That's just asking for trouble. You know, wasn't even halfway through the race and you're already lapping people. That was horrible planning there. I do not know who's going to broadcast the World Supercross, but I would love to see them do what MotoGP is doing and kind of even MXGP, where they've got their own streaming platform. You pay $100 for it, right? Pay $100. I would even pay $100 for 4 races, $25 each. You know, if the production value is there and the racing is there and they do it. Because, look, I'm a guy that pays $80 to watch UFC fights, but I get a bunch of people over and it's a big party. I cannot invite a crap ton of random people over to my house to watch motocross. That's the level of thinking that need it. How do I need to make motocross entertaining enough so that I can get random Joe off the street to come to Hopper's house to watch motocross, right? Yeah, it needs to be a little bit more entertaining. There needs to be a little bit more drama behind. I will say that it is cool that they show a little bit more of this. We've seen, Barsha and Eli screaming at each other. That's the kind of stuff that we want to see. Racing is all good, but there's a lot of racing that happens off the track, right? Yes, a reality MX series, dude. What was it called? Reality of Speed? Dude. Do you guys remember this with David Villeman? This was one of the reasons why I didn't like David Villeman, was because of this damn show. Okay, but the Buku stuff, like, this show was bomb. As a young kid, I looked for this all the time. This was awesome. I love to see that. We do need to see more of that. I think Club MX, they kind of came out with one. They had a couple here, but that's the kind of stuff that we need to see. It's cool to see. Cool to see. Anyway, guys, this is Johnny F. and Hopper. And until next time, keep in mind, I'm going to do this every Thursday. We want to keep it WFO. So, you guys want to brop with me? You came here to brop with me. Yeah, we need girls jumping on trampolines in moto. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bro! Da, 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 whoa, 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 whoa. Some of you guys are bropping in the comments. You guys effing rock. All right. Later, guys.